Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Ted here with you. Tuesday, February 9th, 2021. So, let me just take a quick second and show you this graph of daily tests and cases. And as you can see, it's a 7-day average. But if you look at the graph, cases are way down. And I just want to point out that if you look at that line, it starts going way down just as soon as Joe Biden becomes president. So this just adds to these people that are going around with the theories that it was kind of an agenda pushing thing. Not that it's fake, because nobody thinks that it's fake, but maybe played up for more so they could use it to push and further their agenda. And that's kind of what they did. And that adds to it. Cases are way down, testing is way down. And notice how they left deaths out. Deaths are still very low, percentage wise. And it's hard to tell somebody who has lost a loved one that you can't trust the numbers, because there are incentives for when people come in and they may have died of a heart attack, they may have died of asphyxia, they may have died of a car wreck, but they go down as COVID-19 because these hospitals are incentivized. That's really hard to explain to somebody who has been told that their loved one died of COVID-19. That's really hard to do, but it's not as bad as they claimed. And they locked us down and they ruined the economy. And now you have the Democrats propose $1,400 payments as part of Biden virus relief. This is just published literally today. Washington House Democrats on Monday proposed, but we already knew about the 1,400. That's why I'm saying that. That's not like a big headline. House Democrats on Monday proposed an additional $1,400 in direct payment to individuals as Congress began piecing together a $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief package that tracks President Joe Biden's plan for battling the pandemic and reviving the still staggering economy. Like I've said to you guys already, I've told you before, this economy was shit before this all happened. It was already going down the tubes. Unemployment was already going up. You had homelessness going up. The economy, the stock market looked great, but the true economy was not looking good. And this just came along and gave them basically a patsy to blame it on. Democrats on the Ways and Means Committee would expand tax credits for families with children. For lower earning people and those buying health insurance on marketplaces created by the 2010 Affordable Care Act, the panel, which plans to approve the measure by week's end, would also provide health care and subsidies for some unemployed workers. No doubt so that they could afford to buy their COVID vaccine shots. Less than 3 weeks into his presidency, Biden has declared that vanquishing the virus and resurrecting the economy are his top priorities. The coronavirus pandemic has killed over 460,000 Americans. Don't forget, there is a lot, 350 million Americans or something like that in the United States. That number is minuscule. It's a percentage of it. And we can't trust those numbers because what I spoke of about earlier. Americans, while the economy has lost 10 million jobs since the crisis began last year, but it was already doing that before the crisis began. We were already shedding these jobs. Monday's Ways and Means unveiling of its piece of the package at over $900 billion, nearly half of Biden's entire plan, came with the Congress Democratic leadership hoping to rush the legislation to the president for his signature by mid-March, when existing emergency unemployment benefits expire. Their schedule reflects a desire by Biden and congressional Democrats to show they can respond with swiftly and decisively to the crisis, even if it seems as likely they must muscle past solid Republican opposition, which they've already shown. Like I talked to you guys last week, if it comes even close, they're going to come in with Kamala Harris and chop the heads. So Republicans are basically powerless in the House. Virtually, not exactly, but if anything is even close, the Democrats are going to get it. While it is still our hope that Republicans will join us in doing the right by the American people, the urgency of the moment demands that we act without further delay, said the Ways and Means Chairman Richard Neal, Democrat from Massachusetts. Texas Republican Kevin Brady, top Republican on that committee, criticized Democrats for driving ahead on the massive measure without bipartisan compromise. He said the GOP wants to focus on vaccine distribution and more targeted relief for workers, families, and small businesses, essentially previewing amendments Republicans are expected to propose during the committee votes this week, some of which might win Democratic backing. House Education and Labor Committee Democrats also previewed their plans Monday. Their $350 billion package includes $130 billion to help schools reopen safely, $40 billion for colleges battered by the pandemic, and a plan to gradually raise the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. First of all, let me point out, if you printed $400 trillion, money doesn't stop a pandemic. Okay? But if you look at the graph that I just showed you, that was a graph stating that the numbers are the lowest since they've been in October. And I'd just like to point out, in October, what happened in November? Oh, that's right, the election. And mysteriously, as soon as the Democrats win the election, and don't forget, I'm not for the Democrats or the Republicans. I don't like either one of them. I think we need something new, a revolution. But as soon as this guy is voted in, the numbers start to decline. We stop even testing as much. Less people coming in with the cases, less deaths. So, and now he wants to print all this money to help with the pandemic and resuscitate the economy. You cannot buy your way out of a pandemic. I read you guys an article at the end of last week. This thing is going to be here for probably the next 7 years. Regular travel won't be back to normal till 2024. You could print all the money you want. It's not going to change any of that. And speaking of printing money, I warned you guys about the whole Wall Street bets on the Reddit trading frenzy. And now there's an article out, how the rich got richer. Reddit trading frenzy benefited Wall Street elite. Duh. That's what I was telling you guys about. These people make money for a living. There is no way that this whole thing was brought about by retail traders. And now the mainstream media is agreeing. And people are learning something that most people knew for a long, long time. These people are going to make money either way. Market goes up, they make money. Market goes down, they make money. As a matter of fact, like I warned, and the SEC is investigating, these people might have purposely pushed that market higher with getting retail traders in there on this Wall Street bets idea, and then made money when they pulled out. I've even heard stories of people committing suicide off of this whole thing. So like I told you guys, I wouldn't look to the stock market to make your money. If you want to maintain your wealth, get into precious metals. You want to build some wealth, try getting into cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are on the last year, we'll use as a reference, percentage-wise made a lot more than the stock market. Think about that. Look into it for yourself. Do due diligence. I could tell you a couple coins that I would recommend, and they would be mostly the top 10 coins. Go on Coinbase. Look at the top 10. Coin market cap. Look at the top 10 coins. Look into those. Look further. You might find some for pennies you could get now before they turn into the next Bitcoin. But I feel personally, in my opinion, I'm not a money manager. I'm telling you what I do with my own money, my family's money. We are totally 100% out of the stock market. And that's because I don't feel comfortable in the stock market. And with cryptos, some people try to play it like the stock market, where they'll buy it, ride it to a certain price, sell it, hold that money, and get back in at a lower price. And if you feel comfortable doing that, you by all means do that. I don't feel comfortable enough to do that. I hodl, basically, hold on for dear life. I get in, I do my due diligence, I read the white papers on these coins, and I choose the ones that I want based off of what I've investigated, the information that I found. And I will invest in those coins. And no matter whether they go up or down, I'm in it for the long haul. I'm not trying to get rich tomorrow. I'm not trying to get rich next week. I'm trying to make generational wealth. So even maybe I won't even see the money. Maybe when I pass away, I'll leave it to my kids and they'll be wealthy. But this isn't something that I would do unless you feel comfortable doing it. Just get in there, grab the coins that you think are going to make it, and hold on tight, because it's going to be a crazy ride. I've seen people tell me Bitcoin's dying. I've seen the SEC says it's going to be illegal. I've seen so many things, and I've just held on to it for the whole ride. And it's been a crazy experience, to say the least. It's been an experience. So I warn you guys all the time that over in China, the tensions are really starting to grow. And two U.S. carrier groups went over there and conducted exercises in the South China Sea. They conducted joint exercises in the South China Sea on Tuesday, days after the U.S. warship sailed near Chinese-controlled islands in disputed waters, as China denounced the United States for damaging peace and stability. The Theodore Roosevelt Carrier Strike Group and the Nimitz Carrier Strike Group conducted a multitude of exercises aimed at increasing interoperability between assets as well as command and control capabilities, the U.S. Navy said, marking the first dual carrier operation in the busy waterway since July of 2020. In Beijing, Chinese Foreign Minister spokesman Wang Wenbin said the frequent moves by U.S. warships and the aircraft into the South China Sea in a show of force was not conducive to regional peace and stability. China will continue to take necessary measures to firmly safeguard national sovereignty and security and work with countries in the region to firmly safeguard peace and stability in the South China Sea, he said. So basically, I brought you guys an article last week about the Chinese government authorizing the Coast Guard to be able to fire on any ships that they deem a threat, which just brings more people with their finger on the trigger, with tensions building that could build to a point that somebody makes a mistake and leads to something, or it could lead to a real confrontation. Either way, this is something we got to be careful for. Nobody wants conflict, nobody wants war. We need to hopefully get this thing worked out, but we definitely want to keep an eye on this, because people are over there flexing and ripping their shirts off and baring their chests and pushing each other right now. So this could get a little bit out of control. Pay attention. But like I always say, don't be scared. Be prepared. Go out, get ready for all the things we talked about today. And let me get a subscription. Let me get a thumbs up. And please leave a comment. Tell me what you think. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be safe.